Hello, my dear students. Uh, Today we'll talk about the labor law second paper, and under that head we'll take up the Payment of Wages Act 1936. I'm Dr. A.K. Tyagi, and we'll talk about the object, scope, and application of the Payment of Wages Act 1936. This is video lecture number 10. So first, we'll try to know that what is the object of this Payment of Wages Act 1936. Uh, when we talk about the concept of wage and payment of wages, then we find that wages refer to the total pay package an employee receives from his employer on periodic basis. Means in lieu of whatever efforts he or she is putting in the industry or in the establishment, means for his or her physical labor which he or she has supplied or contributed in the establishment. And every organization tries to go for a fair wage structure to retain the more and more employees. And definitely, I mean, the wages or the pay structures varies from organization to organization and depends on the bargaining capacity of the establishment, bargaining capacity of the employees also, of course, the financial capacity of the organizations to pay also depends upon the, what is the prevalent wage rate is, going on for the similar type of work in the other establishments or in the open market. Means we need to take into the consideration that what sort of competition is going on in the market. We definitely, when we go for the wages, when we take care, the what is the competition in the market, right? And definitely we look into the prevailing conditions of the economy also, and what sort of specialized skills or the employees are having in the establishment those organizations have employed, right? The training in a job, what is the nature of job, what sort of job they are involved into, the employees, what sort of danger or hazards are involved in the job, what is the productivity of the worker. So there are numerous things which we take into the consideration when we go for the wages or the when we go for the payment of the wages, right? There are some establishments, or there are some units which pay as per the time rate system. Some are paying piece according to the piece rate system, some are paying the they follow the incentive wage plans, right? So there are different ways of making the payments also, right? So when we talk about the payment of wages, then we find the object of this, or when we talk about the Payment of Wages Act 1936, and this is given under unit second of the labor law second paper, then we find the object of this Payment of Wages Act is to regulate the payment of wages. To regulate the payment of wages to a certain classes of persons employed in the industry, to pay wages in a particular form and at regular intervals, and to prevent unauthorized deductions from the wages. So we can see that the object of this Payment of Wages Act is to regulate the payment of wages to certain classes of persons employed in the industry, and to pay wages in a particular form and at regular intervals, and to prevent unauthorized deductions from the wages. And so far the scope and object of the act is concerned, the Payment of Wages Act came into existence on 23rd April 1936. And during the time of this colonial government, This act, as mentioned above, was introduced for regulating the payment of wages for a certain class of workers. And so far the application of this act is concerned, then we find that this act may be called the Payment of Wages Act 1936, and it extends to the whole of India. And it applies in the first instance to the payment of wages to persons, those who are employed in any factory, to persons employed otherwise than in factory upon any railway by railway administration, or either directly or through a subcontractor by a person fulfilling a contract with the railway administration, and to persons employed in an industrial or other establishments specified in sub clauses A to G of clause 2nd of section 2. And section 1's subsection 4 of the act has mentioned that as I mentioned, that act will be applicable to any persons who has been employed in a factory, any person who has been employed by railway administration or through the subcontractor, or by any person who has been employed in an industrial or other establishments. And the state government has the power, that after giving a 3 months notice in the official Gazette of India, can extend the provisions of the act to any class of persons employed. Section 3A of this act has made it mandatory for all the employers to take the responsibility of the payment of the required wages as provided under the act to all the above mentioned employees. However, if any of the employer contravene any of section 5 and section 7 of the act, which talks about the time of payment of wages, section 5, and section 7 talks about the deductions which may be made from wages. So any employer is, if contravening any provision of the section 5, which I have just shared with you, that time of payment of wages, and section 7 deductions which may be made from the wages. So if any of the employer contravenes any of the section 5 or section 7 of the act, which talks about the timely payment of the wages in current coins or currency, then in such case the fine could be imposed on the employer, which should not be less than 1,000 rupees. I beg your pardon, but which can be extended to rupees 5,000 rupees, right? So this is what the one important provisions, you can say, right? And in the modern era, the Payment of Wages Act has developed appropriate provisions for facilitating a smooth functioning and the payment of wages to the workers by increasing the threshold. Now have increased the scope of the applicability of this act. A lot of employees who have been the sole breadwinners of their family, it means this act will protect them. And due to the situation of this COVID-19 and the order passed by the ministry, there has been an impact on the implementation of the act, and as many employers have been filing PIL, and the Supreme Court has been providing interim relief to them, because see, we all know that we are just confronting with a very adverse situation, that COVID-19, right? And taking into the consideration the current scenario, it is really important to consider and implement the provisions of the Payment of Wages Act for timely payment of the wages to all the workers, all the poor employees, those who are working in the establishments. And number of workers had great impact on their livelihood due to this adverse situation because of this pandemic, COVID-19. And although this situation has brought economic hardship for the both employers and the employees, and there is a requirement to balance the rights of both. because see, in this current scenario or in this adverse situation of this pandemic or in this COVID-19 situation, means this situation has brought economic hardship for means employers, for employees, and we need to make a balance for the right of both the employers and the employees. So in this way we can see, my dear students, my dear friends, that why do we require the Payment of Wages Act? So the object of the act is to regulate the payment of wages to certain classes of persons, those who are employed, those who are working right in the industry, to pay wages in particular form at regular intervals and to prevent unauthorized deductions from the wages. So this is the main object of this Payment of Wages Act 1936. So I believe this deliberation will help you, right? So in our next deliberation, we'll take up another topic related to the Payment of Wages Act 1936. You just go through and try to understand that what is the object of the act, right? What is the scope, application of the act. Thank you so much. Have a nice time. Bye-bye. Take care.